always create content where you consume the most because you're gonna know the format better. What's resurfacing now is combination videos. Like think of a smoothie, right? You combine cooking with a story time. The fusion is how you build an audience. The fusion is what makes you unique. And you found something that makes money, gets views, and you like it, niche it down. Niche it down, baby. That's how you make that coin.
So what are the biggest trends that you need to know in the creator economy? What do you need to know from Gen Z right now that you can apply to your content as it comes to making more of an impact, reaching more people? And what does it look like to be a next generation leader in the creator economy? Today on the Think Media podcast, we have Jade Darmawangsa, a 22-year-old phenom who is a social entrepreneur, the current CEO of X8 Media, an influencer marketing agency that works with tech platforms and civic movements. She's also a creator with TikTok, YouTube, 371,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so we're going to learn a lot today. Jade, how are you?
Sean, honestly, I'm going to be for real. I'm honored to be here on the Think Media podcast because for the longest time, I thought it was too relevant for you. So thank you so much for having me.
Super fired up to have you on. And I've known you for a while now. It's been a while to watch your journey.
Yeah.
And you're still just getting started, but you've been doing this for a lot of years. For people that are just meeting you, what have you been up to over the last, when did you start?
So I started when I was 9 years old, my first YouTube video ever, 2010. I don't think you're supposed to be that age on YouTube. I think you have to be 13, but I broke the law.
Yeah.
And I've been making content for a long time, and I knew I wanted to be a full-time YouTuber since I was a kid. So I'm living the dream job, and I'm still producing content till this day.
Yeah, so you're a full-time YouTuber. You're also active on TikTok, but you're also wearing a CEO hat.
I am.
If there was a pie chart, how do you break your time down?
It used to be 50-50, like CEO agency work, 50 content. But I just had to be honest with myself. I was like, I like content more.
Yeah.
So I would say right now it's 80-20, 80% content, 20% CEO.
I love that. And you recently just did a panel here at VidCon in Anaheim, and it was on next generation leadership, the C-suite reimagined. What are some of your thoughts on what it means to run a company in a creator economy, Gen Z, next gen world?
I think it's just all about age. And I think we live in a world where right now our leaders are going to be older, and it's hard to come in. Well, I felt like it was hard to come in a space where there's legend Sean, veteran, and I'm like the 16-year-old girl who doesn't really have that experience. And I think what it means is age is now just a number, but it's also more based on your experience and what you in your work versus like your race, your background. And I think that's really empowering for a lot of people. For me, I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I started really young, so I had to rely on my work and let that be the talking point to get clients, to get brand deals. It was a hard hustle, though. I'm not gonna lie.
When it comes to your story, what role did your parents play in you being an entrepreneur?
A huge part. I lucked out. Not on the finances part, but I lucked out on having supportive parents who are themselves very entrepreneurial minded. My dad runs apps, like he builds apps. My mom's an artist. So like they've always been like, if you want to drop out of high school, which I did, they let me.
What have you learned wearing the CEO hat of what it means to lead people on your team? Are they all young?
They are all young. They're all like, they're either younger or older than me. Like I have someone who's 25 on my team and like 12. I mean, not 12. Wait, that's child labor. I mean, like 18, 19. Jade comes on the podcast and says she has child labor.
There's a confession. It's on tape.
I promise.
And so when it comes to what people need to know about Gen Z, what are some of like the things, especially, I turned 40 this year.
Congrats.
So I'm an elder millennial.
Elder millennial.
Yeah, and because there's like younger millennials and elder millennials. It's such a big generation or something. I don't really know.
Are you closer to Gen X or closer to?
I'd be closer to Gen X.
Okay.
Yeah, and the only reason I came up with that term was there's a Liza's Netflix special. I'm forgetting her last name.
Koshi?
No.
Okay.
Liza, she's a comedian.
Okay.
Anyway, she did a segment called Elder Millennial, and I was like, that must be.
You identify. You're
that
like,
must be
me.
what I am. Okay. Yeah.
Because there is Zillennial, and that's someone who's more millennial, closer to Gen Z.
So when it comes to Gen Z, I mean, breaking that down, first of all, like what are maybe some attributes of Gen Z that if you're a marketer, a business owner that's trying to think about how do I reach Gen Z, what do people need to know?
I think historically Gen Z was anyone under 12 to 24 who was basically born after 2000s, I would say is Gen Z. I'm going to be honest, Gen Z is a huge market to market to right now. We're like the highest, consumer spending. We buy anything that's cool and trendy, unfortunately. We have no brains. We just keep consuming products. But, I think we're definitely a huge target market for a lot of people because we're very malleable and like easy to market to on social. And I think, there's also Generation Alpha, which I'm not going to go into, but some traits of Gen Z also include very, very passionate, unhinged. I think we're the generation that started all like the social movements and all, who cares about like environmentalism. So I feel like we've been a pretty cool generation for the most part. There are some problematic qualities, like cancel culture is a huge problem, I feel like, with our generation. But I can't complain. I'm a part of it.
What are some strengths that elder creators could learn that Gen Z's doing well?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
I mean, Gen Z seems to be maybe short form. Seems to be maybe grabbing, hooks. There seems to be maybe a native understanding of content. So these things just seem maybe observational. But I oftentimes think that as kind of the younger generation goes, it eventually ages up. And it sort of shapes all content. So I just know if there's maybe attributes that you recognize.
Right, for sure.
I notice, for example, you as a content creator, maybe you just were being yourself and making this up, but you were longboarding around with a little wireless mic, storytelling in a parking lot on a longboard, which, if anything, made me think you were A, being you, but B, you were keeping attention.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was unique. And it seemed to be intelligent.
Quirky is a good word. Quirky is like definitely a thing that elder millennials can learn from Gen Z. Just keep it interesting. I think a lot of Gen Z likes to make fun of things that are called chuggy. Have you heard of that word before?
Yes.
And like, did someone call you chuggy?
Didn't hear it. There's lots of viral vertical videos of like Gen Z breaking up. There's, I'm like in the church world and stuff. There was one that was like, your love is bussin', everything I put my trust in. It was like a Gen Z worship song.
Oh, that's
and then it was like, your love is dead ass. And it was like, what? It's just Gen Z language or whatever.
So you're familiar. I'm glad no one called you chuggy because I feel like that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
What does chuggy mean?
Chuggy is just cringe. Has no riz.
Okay.
Have you heard of riz?
Give me the full list. And define the terms.
Do you know what riz is? Okay.
So chuggy is
Chuggy is the
cringe.
opposite of riz. Yeah. So riz is like you're cool, you're calm, you're quirky, collected. Chuggy is the opposite. You're trying too hard.
Riz.
You care what people think.
So you want he's riz.
Yeah. You have riz, or like you want your content to have riz.
Yeah. What does dead ass mean?
Dead ass means like for real, like 100%.
100%. What is on God?
On God means like period.
Period. Okay. What is cap? No cap.
Cap, no cap means like I'm not lying. Like no cap. Like my cap. Yeah.
So sometimes I'll cause now I'm actually doing pretty good on TikTok, mainly because we're repurposing content.
Yeah.
Probably over 300,000 followers or whatever.
Slay.
Whatever. But punchline, I'll sometimes say stuff that's of course absolutely true, but maybe it seems sensational, and then somebody will just drop the cap emojis. So they're saying that it's all cap.
Yeah, people think you're lying. People think you're lying.
They think I'm lying. It's just a bunch of like, oh, this is cap.
And then to that, you reply to a comment on TikTok and you say, you take your cap off.
How?
You take your cap off.
In like a video?
Yeah.
You can do video replies on TikTok?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
You know you can do that on Shorts now.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you started?
100%. Yes.
You did it?
Yes.
Has it been effective?
I think Shorts is useful. I think it depends on your audience.
No, I mean Shorts reply to comments.
Oh, no, I haven't done too much of that. I don't know.
Okay. This has been already the most unhinged podcast we've ever done. By far.
I'm sorry.
No cap, on God. By far, this is...
Wait, Sean, you're good at this. You're like Gen Z-ing.
I'm doing my best.
You're doing so good. Comment below if Sean's killing it.
But ultimately, as far as what do people need to know about Gen Z, this has probably been a pretty good conversation.
No, you probably learned way more in school. You did learn more in school than this, for sure. I was going to say you learned more in Think Media than in school, but I think in this episode context, you're better off just reading a book.
Okay, well, YouTube Secrets. We're gonna bring it back though,
okay, we're gonna bring it back.
And let's hit some more. I mean, I want to talk to you about your video podcast, about some of your tips and strategies and some different things that are working for you. But let's start there. You started a video podcast.
I did.
Why?
I'm just tired. I mean, to be honest, like I do a lot of short form content. I do YouTube videos that are trendy. People don't really get to know you, even if you make like very long form content, unless if you're gonna say stuff that doesn't gravitate attention. And sometimes the things that people get to know you about isn't gonna work on short form, So I built a podcast so my fans can know me better. And also I just feel like in terms of a monetization tool, it's pretty lucrative. So our podcast is called Finessed. I have a podcast with my friend Karu. We got a presenting sponsor, and it's like honestly one of the most fulfilling work too. It's because like you're having deeper conversations with people, you're interviewing people, and it's awesome.
What is a presenting sponsor?
It's like a sugar daddy of podcasts. Like you get the upfront payment for having their brand in your podcast every episode.
For what range of time did you do?
12 episodes for a year.
Wait. Okay, so is a year-long contract, but you only had to shout them out in 12 of the episodes, even if you upload more.
No, 12 episodes is our season. So we sign like a every episode deal for 12 episodes, one season.
Got it. So you're doing seasons.
Yes, I'm going professional, yeah.
So you're doing seasons,
Yes.
12 episodes. How long does that take?
We're almost done. It's been 8 months, 6 months. So
So you're not trying to do weekly.
no, we're doing bi-monthly, like twice a month.
And any tips if somebody wanted to get a presenting sponsor, how to network around, work that out?
I 100%. I actually have great advice on this. So our podcast is called Finessed, and we 100% finesse this presenting sponsor because we didn't have any viewership on our podcast. We didn't have any metrics that could show us that we could, kill it. But it's just kind of like getting investment towards like a startup. The brand needs to believe in you as a founder, you as a storyteller. And we told the story really strongly. Finesse is about teaching creators and founders that you can do anything. You can start a business even if you don't have capital or if you don't have money. And our sponsor, not sponsored, is called Fourth Wall, and they're like a platform to help creators do that. So it just worked out. And my co-host is also so happens to be one of the most talent agents. So that also was a plus.
And now that you've posted a few episodes, what have you learned about posting them on? They go on YouTube?
They go on YouTube, yeah.
Do they though? Did I actually check and maybe only the shorts went on YouTube, but you put audio elsewhere, or do you put the full video podcast up?
Oh, the full video is only on Fourth Wall and Spotify.
Okay, so Fourth Wall is a separate destination.
Yes, it's kind of like a landing page for our home base.
Okay, so you could listen to your video podcast on Fourth Wall,
Yes.
or Spotify,
Or
Apple,
or Apple Music, everywhere. Yeah,
all that, and then on YouTube you're just uploading clips.
clips. Yes,
And you might share some clips on your socials as well.
exactly.
Once
Yes,
you have
we post a lot of clips. Do you post a lot of clips from your podcast?
That's what we do now. That's basically our entire TikTok.
You need to make that little Gen Z conversation a clip right there, like that whole little interaction. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
All right, noted. Taking notes. Okay, so and then anything else you've learned since doing a podcast?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people want to launch their own, maybe tips, growth, topics, how to
Yeah.
have conversations. Is it always just you two talking
Yes.
about something topical?
It's always that, and we interview people who are really cool if we are able to find cool people, which I feel like you would be one of them. But I think one of my biggest tips is try your best not to be. I don't know if this is a roast to Think Media, but like try your best not to be just. It's really easy to basically do like content that's about other people, and if you don't build personality, it's hard to retain that audience. I mean, I learned it. Trust me, I've done this with Finesse. Like, initially, our first 5 episodes was just interviewing people.
Yeah.
And then when we did a solo episode, no one cared. And we're like, okay, like this is something that we want to work on. So I learned, okay, there needs to be a healthy balance of
good.
solo, a little bit of, I mean, you've done a great job. Like you have your own channel, but it's like really important not just to be an interview podcast because there's a lot out there. You have to differentiate yourself with either your personality or a solo or something like that.
It's really good. And that's not a roast. Think Media Podcast is 3 years old. This week was all been solo. We've been doing lots of solo rounds.
That's good.
It's probably 50% solo rounds.
Okay, then you got it.
And they perform very good. And there's that. I think there's a pretty strong relationship. Let me know. I love you, Think Media Podcast, especially if you're on YouTube. I know you can't comment anywhere else. What do you like better? Interviews, solo rounds.
They
But
probably just love you, Sean. Just like, I'm here for Sean.
I love you. And yes, so that's a great tip. So you actually have that depth. You actually have that connection. When it comes to YouTube versus TikTok, what say you?
What say you? I mean, at this point, I think I treat YouTube as my diary, TikTok as my capture attention to drive people to the diary. Unfortunately, now with there's so many short form platforms, it's kind of getting blurred. So now I just treat it as each platform has its own funnel. Like, so for example, Shorts is the top of the funnel and I drive it to my long form, which is the YouTube long form vlogs. TikTok, I have like short form TikToks that are like clips trending, but I also have long form like day in my life that are 3 minutes. Because TikTok also released a new creator fund, it's like RPM like YouTube money, and you can get actually a lot more money than initially TikTok creator fund was. I'm actually incentivized now to post more long form like 10-minute videos on TikTok, which is a whole other conversation.
Are you ready to start or grow your YouTube channel? Do you feel stuck and need help connecting the dots? Join this free web class where you'll learn the step-by-step playbook for YouTube success. We've helped thousands of purpose-driven entrepreneurs just like you grow their influence with video. Register today for this exclusive training at thinkmasterclass.com.
Well, I just heard at the YouTube room here from DJ that a million views on TikTok, if it's over a minute,
Yes, if it's
was
over
like
a minute.
$1,000.
Which is pretty good.
It's really good.
For TikTok? That's unheard
for
of.
vertical video.
And for vertical video. So the future is bright.
But he said the frustrating part was if you put energy into that content, not because it's over a minute, you're going to have to edit it more for YouTube Shorts if you just want to use the same piece.
That makes sense.
Which is fine, but, so maybe you shoot for 105 and then just find 5 seconds in a different version.
Exactly.
But you're talking like 3 minutes on TikTok. Why not 10? Because can't you do 10?
You can do 10. I scroll past people who post 10-minute vlogs. I think 3 minutes is a good start, but I'm trying.
Did you have anything else to say? You mentioned it's a whole nother creator fund or TikTok, or you were gonna say something else.
Was I going to say something else?
I don't know.
I could make
said
something up.
You said I have a lot more we could talk about there.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot more we could talk about there. I mean, like, in terms of, like, long-form content on TikTok, I think we're just scratching the surface, but I feel like every platform at the end of the day wants to be a YouTube plus TikTok hybrid. Like everyone wants to have that love child where you have people who come for the quick bits and then stay for the long form. And if you can master that ratio of like whether it's 50-50 or 80-20, like I think that's how you build an audience.
So let's pretend you were a young person because
Okay.
obviously that ship has sailed. You're old now.
I'm old now.
Relax. That was a joke. And but you are starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing this since you were 9. So that's 13 years in the game. It's kind of crazy to think.
It is crazy. Like a cat.
And so you're starting from scratch. What platform do you start on and with what type of content?
I always tell people this. Like my first tip is make 100. Can I cuss or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you say
videos?
with apprehension?
Well, videos isn't make 100. What were you gonna say? Finish the sentence. Make 100. What's the? I just want to know now.
Well, I was gonna say make 100 videos that don't.
On what platform?
Honestly,
What length?
whatever you. So I think always create content where you consume the most because you're gonna know the format better. Don't try to make TikToks if you don't know the culture, the language. If you love YouTube, just double down and you can repost on TikTok, right? So double down on what platform you love the most. I think I would personally start with YouTube, and then you can make 100 or 100 YouTube shorts, and focus on only just understanding how to edit and produce and be interesting. I think a lot of people focus on how to get views and optimize, but they don't even know how to talk, how to edit, how to like get comfy, how to start, and just treat your 100 videos as making videos for fun. And I always say like, recreate your top 10 favorite YouTubers' top 10 videos. Like that's a good start. Like look if you like Sean's video, maybe to recreate his top 10. Actually, you probably get a lot of that. But like, like start there and now you have 100 videos, right? So make a list of your top 10 people, find the top 10 videos, start there, and then optimize. You don't need to overthink the beginning.
Okay, so that's how you would start. If you went into this now, knowing everything you know, wanting to build a sustainable income,
Yes.
which in other conversations we've already had here, like John Ushai was like, sustainable. Is there such a
Sustainable.
thing in the creator economy?
That's a good point.
And so if that was the intent though, to not have highs and lows, you're here one day, you're gone the next. We actually had someone apply at Think Media that was a full-time YouTuber, full
really?
on, and was going to go full back into the workforce. Totally, of course, respectable, but because all of his brand deals dried up and he couldn't really rely on AdSense, so he was fully paying all of his bills, and then that all went away, and this is in the last 6 months.
Wow.
And so sustainable is one of those big questions. If you wanted to approach YouTube with a sustainable mindset, what is the best way to earn money sustainably?
I agree with your last friend though. Like, is there a way to make money, or is it you make the money where you are able to find opportunities, and then it's the way you manage it? Like, I could sit here and be like, yeah, like, because for me, I make money in a like unique way. Like, for example, like I really primarily do brand deals. I do consulting through my experiences with the other brands I work with. I kind of upsell them on that, and not everyone can do that. So I don't know. I just feel like for me, it's really based on like managing cash flow essentially, right? And to your friend that like is also probably just honestly a byproduct of the recession right now that I'm feeling.
Yep.
Everyone's feeling like that's okay. And I don't think there's a sustainable way because the economy always goes through ebbs and flows. So why do you expect as a creator to always maintain a similar income? For me, I'm making a lot less than I did last year, like 100%, like a lot less. I've managed it better because I've learned through years, but it's not easy. I don't even know a good answer.
That's really good. The good answer is that there's not one way. So you find out your unique mix, be smart with your money because it might be feasting today, but it could be famine tomorrow. So if you've set something aside and you're wise, then you can ride out the ups and the downs and then work to your strengths. So you have the ability to consult and do these different things, but that might not be the model for somebody else.
Yeah.
So really there is no one way. And ad revenue is great for some channels and they get zillions of views and it's insane.
I also think there's nothing wrong with getting a job and doing the creator stuff on the side too. Like, I mean, I've never had a job, but I would 100%, like me and my dad joke about this because I'm a high school dropout and they're like, Jade, like you need a job just to know what it's like. And I'm like, I'd be down to like know what it's like. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure. And there's all kinds of hustles you could do. Respect the hustle. You could Uber and then still film videos. And
100%.
you also could then turn that into the rideshare guy blog and monetize. You turn your hustle, rideshare or Postmates into content.
You know what's so funny? So speaking on this, there's this book I'm reading called The Artist Way. And there's this quote saying, how do you look at every turnaround U-turn as pointing me in the right direction? This year, just to like give you that Think Media Podcast Inside Tea, my brand deals really got postponed / cut or whatever, budget cuts, whatever. Mostly on the agency side, like my own brand deals were fine, but it allowed me to turn around and be like, wait, I love making content. So I don't need to focus on like my brand work. I could focus more on my content. So it's the way you look at it, right? It's perspective.
Yeah. The Artist Way, is that a new Rick Rubin book? Or is it an old book?
It's an oldie.
Okay.
It's an oldie, but a goodie.
The new Rick book, do you know who that is? He's all viral right now. He's got the glasses, little jolly man with hair and beard.
Yes.
Okay. The Artist Way.
He's like, I love him.
Okay, as we land the plane, you've been known to say creators shouldn't niche down.
I have.
To niche or not to niche, or to niche or not to niche.
I have an updated thought about this.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So for those who don't know, I made a video, like multiple videos that went viral about like, I don't believe in a niche. I think I was going through a mental breakdown. No,
I was a little unhinged at the moment.
I mean, everyone is, but I was definitely unhinged in that moment. I felt very trapped in my own work. Now, here's the thing. If you love what you do and you know and you found something that makes money, gets views, and you like it, niche it down. Niche it down, baby. That's how you make that coin. At that time, I wasn't there yet. But I think my updated thought is you should niche down if you can. But if you can't, explore more. Most people niche down too quickly. I think that's a fact. But I also my updated thought is like, I mean, if you want to get that bread, you need to like focus. So I think that's my updated thought. And this is something that I'm announcing in 2023.
Jade, you also, speaking of some of your most influential content, you do trend predictions.
I do.
It's 2023. We're going into July at the time of recording. So that's for some reference. What do you see in the future and in the now?
I've always said this, but we're living in the world where topical niches are already done. Like if you want to search how to cook a steak, it's a video. What's resurfacing now is combination videos. Like think of a smoothie, right? You combine cooking with a story time. That's the meat. That's what's doing well. You think about Alex Earl, a popular TikTok beauty YouTuber. She combines talking about college with getting ready and doing makeup. The fusion is how you build an audience. The fusion is what makes you unique. There's already too many videos about how to surf, So it's like combine something else. Get at that Riz.
Okay, so fusion makes me think there's so many fusion restaurants in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there is.
And that's
they're good though.
And you're like, I wouldn't have thought of putting those two things together,
Exactly.
but that's a whole experience. And so fusion is trend one. What else?
Trend two, I think, would be, it's already a thing, but like, I think podcast is still scratching the surface for me. It's already been done. big deals already been happening in the industry, but I still think more and more creators should have podcasts because it's really efficient way to get a lot of content and get the highlights, turn it into clips. And I think it's just a good practice of packaging your content. I think what people are now doing a lot more is like talking about something, but how do you make it so you like highlight the best parts, combine it into like a 30-second, 60-second reel to push people into the longer form. I think that's really hard to do. Like I struggle with that on my podcast. Like how do you find the best bits? How do you tell a story really quickly in the most efficient way?
Have you tapped into AI yet for that?
Yeah, I think ChatGPT is basically a better version of me for sure right now.
Have you tapped into things like Opus Clip,
Yes.
which does search keywords and trending things,
Yes.
and you throw your podcast in there? Have you found that to be useful?
Yes, I think a human though knows what's funny. Like I'll say like really off the cuff stuff, and the AI won't pick it. They don't have that riz yet. I think once the AI gets an update with
Sure.
that, I think it's going to be fire.
You know, I think, and actually we have been loving Opus Clip. It's definitely not perfect.
Are you sponsored?
We're not sponsored,
But we're open to it. Presenting sponsor.
but we are, and legit. We're paying attention to all of them, and we're just wondering who's going to kind of like edge out being
right.
the best.
I think Adobe's going to win.
Really, with pulling clips too.
I just feel like if anyone's going to just copy like an existing product really well and
yeah.
make it better, it's Adobe.
It is. That's a good point because it's kind of an unfair advantage that
have
they can just go
everything.
swipe it up, and they're bigger, they have more money, they have a bigger team.
Exactly.
You know what's interesting though is when it spits out though like 10 clips, the human still has to review them.
Yeah.
And that's what it at least has saved you time to maybe be like, oh, those are cool, and let me use those, and then you still edit around them. Perhaps even if you did it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just by throwing them in there, keywords, trending keywords, emojis, or whatever else some of these are doing. So
It's a crazy time we're living in. Like I used to hire so many, it's kind of sad. I used to hire so many people that do the things that AI does. And it's like, damn, like what a weird time to be. And what a scary time to be for like a lot of people just starting too. Like, I mean, you probably saw this industry change so much in the past, like literally in 3 years, you know? It's like, it's weird.
are you saying I'm old?
No, Sean, you're a zillennial. I mean, you're a older millennial. We already established that.
I'm a millennial.
I think 55 is the cutoff.
I have been to VidCon for I think 10 years.
Really?
I think
Wait, you're old now?
I think I was here. I think I was here in 2023.
Wait, as a fan or as like a speaker?
2013. It's 2023 right now. As a fan.
Wow, so you've been through the progression.
I came with Benji, and I was just super pumped to be here.
doe-eyed.
And I remember Tim Ferriss was here.
What?
Just chilling, and no one
Really?
cared
Yeah, no
because
one
no one
cared.
here like was like reading blogs or reading 4 Hour Work Week or whatever, and we were just in a session. I was like, "Is that Tim Ferriss?" Because he just wanted to learn about online video and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah,
10 years is crazy.
yeah. I am old. I respect, and I'm a dad. I got 2 kids. You know.
Well, I think the 10 years on VidCon really speaks a lot, but also makes you so like dope. Like that's awesome to say. You could do you not own equity at this conference at this point?
I wish.
You need to. Like you probably built
I
this
wonder
thing
who.
too.
I thought it was started by like
Hank Green.
right? And does he's shared it with others and
Others.
people
It's
have
owned by
come-
Viacom now.
Viacom. Yeah.
So you might be too late.
Yeah, we have our own event. It's called Grow with Video Live. It's in Las Vegas.
I know, and I didn't get an invite.
growwithvideolive.com is in the show notes. And yeah, that's a good point. And we had 17,000 speakers last year.
Wait, 17,000 attendees, right?
No speakers. It was,
Wait, what?
I'm exaggerating, but it was
Okay.
kind of too, like, it was great, but it was so packed in, like so many panels and stuff. Because we only have one stage. We don't have 48.
really?
We don't have 3 floors with
Wait,
68
can I
rooms.
say something right now on the podcast too? Let me DJ your next Grow with Video Live event.
Like DJ the music?
Yeah, and I can speak too, but I rather DJ.
What, like off decks?
Yeah, I'll do it for free. I play violin and piano like professionally for 10 years, and I now DJ. And I've been doing this for startup events starting 3 days ago.
Sick.
So let me DJ.
Okay.
I'll do it for free.
Let's talk. That sounds fire.
Or you can pay me.
No, let's collab. Like it'll be fun. We need that we need the Riz.
Yeah, like if like
The
maybe
Jade
like
Riz.
I can DJ like when you walk on stage before you like an opening song, like something cool like that.
Yeah, I didn't know you did that. We had a DJ last year.
Okay.
We had one focus guy. Yeah, it's DJing. Intro music, outro music. Anyways,
Okay.
it's coming together. Excited to brainstorm about it. And as we land the plane, I'm curious for you, what type of content has helped you learn the most and learn the fastest? If you need to skill up as a business owner, learn new skills, how do I be a CEO? How do I operate a company? Or how do I do content? Like what has been the best source of these skill sets for you?
Source of learning?
I mean, Is it books? Is it events? Is it networking?
I'm going to be honest. I mean, this plane ride, by the way, has been fantastic. A little turbulent a few times. Got to tell the captain because you made a joke about like we're landing the plane. Okay. So
Thank
you
you.
was so lost. Sean
That was so deep. That was so deep.
Okay.
And I'm so grateful that you were trying to fly in my jet stream.
No, I love it.
I'd already parachuted out.
I mean, turn on your.
You didn't realize I wasn't even in the plane anymore.
He literally just left. He already is getting his baggage claim.
I was already a baggage claim. Landing the plane, it was up to you.
My biggest resource for learning, honestly, is unfortunately and fortunately failing a lot. You know, I read a lot of books. I mean, I can name a couple. Like, I love Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***. It's a classic of just starting with the mental side.
He just spoke.
You did?
Mark Mason.
Really?
Was
It's
here.
Manson, by the way.
Manson was just here.
Wow.
Mark.
Really? Wait, I want to meet
He
him.
was in the first session here today.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm a big fan. But
the
yeah,
art of being Mark Manson.
yeah, Mark Manson's great. All his books are awesome.
Okay.
I also have read like funnel secrets, like all like the growth hacking books. But at the end of the day, nothing really worked until I learned from failing. You know, I mean, I can name so many failures, like hiring too many people at once. I learned about how to not make videos too long or too short, and just trying a bunch of things. And I think that is it. I mean, like obviously Think Media, duh, you got to subscribe to the podcast, the newsletter, to everything, and my vlogs. But other than that, like I just encourage everyone to just be their own little scientist in the lab, hypothesize,
Good.
do it, and then report back.
Jade Darmawangsa, really appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
you,
mentioned
Sean.
They got to subscribe to your vlog.
They don't have to, but you could.
But if what's the stack of your brands and accounts worth following?
I think it's easier to follow me on Instagram because I post pretty photos. I also have TikTok and YouTube, which is all Jade Darmawangsa. And if you really want to get to know me, the unhinged side, my podcast is called Finessed. I will say rated R. No, just kidding. It's just funny.
Jade, I appreciate you. Really grateful for the value you've added to our community today, and look
I
forward
hope I
to
did.
connecting more in the future.
Thank you, Sean. I'm again honored to be here. I thought I was too relevant, but I think I've gained my trophy back.
There it is.